All right. All right. So for today's topic, the thing I discussed was like the power of trust, right? And trust, not necessarily in a sense of like how I usually use trust, because I usually say use trust in a sense of trusting your process, trusting your career, trusting your decisions. But the element of trust I brought up today was the trust of your peers. Now, here's the thing. I'm very strict about who I call my friend, because not because I've been hurt or anything like that. It's actually the complete opposite. It's the amount of times I haven't been hurt in my life with friends and whatnot. The only thing that's really kind of hurt me emotionally in that sense will probably be like girlfriends and whatever. But you know, that's not a new phenomenon. There's a lot of people who've witnessed that as well. But I've been very fortunate because I've never had a lot of social wrongly doings, because like I said, I create such a strict regiment before I calling somebody a friend. Now, and I'm going to go more in depth on that and right after. But the reason why I brought that up was because when I say the word trust, I have to trust that I'm going to need certain people in order for me to grow my business. Like, for example, the reason why I said that, and it's amazing how life lined up. I needed to trust that my roommate slash friend, we're en route to becoming friends. Let's say he's on schedule to be considering one of my good friends, Ephraim. He had to actually go drop off all my orders for me today. Usually you guys don't usually see this side of the couch when I do my daily confirmations, because it's usually filled in with clothes, but they're on that side right now. I've been shifting things around. But the reason why I said all that, because I needed to trust. I had to get a bunch of work done before a certain deadline, and I still needed someone to drop off all my orders. And I was really fortunate because he was able to drop everything off at the post office for me. I gave him all the addresses. I gave him the cash, whatever he needed. And I trusted that he's going to help me take my business to the next level, because without him in this situation, I really don't know. I would have had another day of late orders, and it would have been another ordeal. And, you know, that would have been a mess. But as I go through this soft rant, I say this because you can't do everything on your own. It's physically impossible. No one in this world can do anything on their own. It takes a team. For example, another podcast I love to watch is the Joe Budden podcast. And then I think it was one episode, Maul wasn't there. Maul is kind of like Mr. Hood contrarian, but yet logic. He's kind of like Hood Gandhi on the group. And what I like about him is that he provides a sense of logic that's not always there, you know, if that makes any sense. So he wasn't there for an episode, and it was just Rory and Joe. And don't get me wrong, they have a great friendship, but the dynamic was off. It was Rory, Joe, and Parks as well. But the dynamic was just off. It was weird. They weren't fluid as they usually are. They needed him there. They needed them there. And which takes me to the point that you have to trust that even when you create a group with someone, you have to trust that they are going to show up, that they are going to be active, that they are going to arrive. You know, it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of a lot of people to build something from the bottom up. But understand, it takes people. It takes people. Like you can't just expect to do everything on your own. As much as like an artist I really rock with is Russ, right? And he talks about how he does everything in his album. And don't get me wrong, he produces it, mixes, masters, writes, sings, raps, does all that. But when you look at the credits of the album, you notice there are other names on there. Like it's not just Russ by Russ for Russ. Like it takes collaborative efforts, whether it's his manager or whether it's his booking agent or whatever it may be. Like it takes a group of people in order to create something great. You cannot create something great by yourself. It just doesn't happen. So, you know, I'm hoping that somebody will take a nugget from this, and they'll look to their left and they'll look to the right, and they'll look at the people who they call their friends, and then from there they'll be able to do what their next thing and ask them for help. Ask them for help. I've been very you know what, I sort of blame my dad for this one, because my dad was like, you got to do everything. You have to, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself, and all these other things. And he, to a certain extent, was right. But what he didn't take into consideration is that it takes, like I said, it takes a group. And my dad is my hero. My dad is my road dog. My dad is my best friend. But one line that he never really passed on to me that I'm learning right now is that you got to trust people. You got to trust people. The reason why I do these is I like to bring you guys into my life and all the little nuances, and then when later on, if you do end up becoming a fan of the brand, you know all these little dots and segments of people and people I bring up and whatnot, you'll be able to understand where I'm coming from. But it's like, recently this past weekend I did the car show with Eli, and what's great about it is that Eli E30 bruh, what's great about that is that he, after the whole event, man, to just be honest with you guys, like it take anytime I have to go to LA, it's like I said, it takes a lot out of me. It costs me a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. I'm losing money most of the time, but this time it hurt the most. Like I came back to LA, I came back to Bakersfield with only $66 in my account. And if you don't believe me, that is literally on my Twitter. And I was like, bro, I don't know how I'm going to make this happen, because I still had to pay my light bill. I still got to get some groceries, and I can pay a portion of the credit card. So, I've been living off the credit card, and it's been tough, but I'm going to make it happen. But Eli, through all that, he sent me a text. He said, bro, how much do you need? And I was like, and there goes that pride thing. I didn't want to ask him for an amount without an exchange. So I just said, bro, just do me a favor and buy a hoodie. If you buy a hoodie, that helps me. Now it gets me to 120. From the 120, I can pay part of the bill. I can put things back in motion. He ended up he ended up not buying anything. He ended up just giving me $300. He was like, bro, thank you for all the help for the past 2 days. And honestly, between that, the hotel and everything, like, it brought tears to my eyes, because I did not know what I was going to do next, and I had to trust. And he literally told me in a text, he said, I got you. And I got you, it used to be one of the biggest lies that people would tell you, but he said, I got you. And then literally the next day he had me. I like, just the thought of that right now as I'm talking this out loud makes me a little teary eyed again, because it's like, I barely even know this kid. Like, I really barely know this kid, and how he came through was amazing. Like, I couldn't ask for a better person. And I told him, oh my gosh, it didn't take me long to start crying on YouTube. But yeah, like I say all that to say, because you have to trust your friends, you have to trust your people, and you have to create good friends and good friendships, and then from there you can go along and start trusting them and growing, because success takes time. Success is a process. Success is not an overnight situation. And then once you're able to put all that in motion, man, your life will be so much more copacetic. You'll see why people will see why I need so little to be happy. Like I say all my rhetoric, I just repeat. I don't need to go out. I don't need to go to the club. I don't need a gang of friends, because the friends I have now, the friends I have today, they're my A team, and I couldn't live life without them. They are my everything. And it's because I put them through hell, not just because I catch attitudes. It's because I made such a strong guidelines to be my friends, and they're all abiding by them. I'm hoping I'm not ranting. Hopefully I'm not boring you too much. Hopefully my audio's still in order. That's always the biggest thing for me. But I don't know. You guys let me know. Let me know in the comment. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to rant too much. I try to keep these within and I can't see the screen. I try to keep these under 10 minutes, because I want to go more in depth about the importance of of trust from my daily confirmation. That's also on my TikTok. That's also on my Twitter. That's also on my Instagram. But I'm hoping that with due time, that all these friendships and relationships I'm building was going to lead to something great. If you have any questions or comments or anything, or want to support by buying merch or whatever, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. If you want to know more about me, shoot me a message, go and DM me on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, and I will literally answer all your questions. And if you leave a comment on my Instagram or my YouTube and I don't reply to it in the next 24 hours, I will literally Cash App you $10, because that's how dedicated I am to responding to all my comments right now. So stay happy, stay optimistic, and I'll see you back again tomorrow for another episode of your Daily Confirmation Extended. And let me guys know what you guys want to hear me talk about, because I can talk forever. So you guys give me topics and I will literally make it happen. That's it. Deuce.